There is a very important and simple takeaway from this bill that's getting lost in the "don't say gay" frenzy, and it has nothing to do with gender identity or sexual orientation, and that takeaway is this: teachers do not have an inherent right to make decisions on behalf of a parent. Thank you to the founding sponsor of Undivided, 1530 Mortgage. Visit them at 1530mortgage.com. I've had several requests to give my take on Florida's House Bill 1557. If you'll notice, I didn't open by calling it the "Don't Say Gay" bill, because that's not the bill's name. That's the name given to the bill by opponents. And true to form, the media have decided to just keep repeating the opposition's nickname over and over and over. Technically, the bill was titled the Parental Rights in Education Act. Now look at those two names side by side. Both have vastly different connotations, and depending on which one the media chooses to use, the bill can either be painted in the court of public opinion as a law giving parents more rights over their child's education, or a blatantly anti-gay bill. What a bill is called has a huge impact on public perception, and the media knows that. But for the rest of this segment, let's just take that visceral reaction out of it and call it House Bill 1557. That way you have to judge the bill by its contents, not just a slogan. So the bill does a few things. Here are a few passages from text of the legislation. The bill requires schools to adopt procedures for notifying a student's parents if there is a change, quote, related to the student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being. The bill states that if students in kindergarten through grade 3 are given a health or well-being questionnaire to fill out, quote, the school district must provide the questionnaire or health screening form to the parent and obtain the permission of the parent first. Furthermore, schools, quote, may not prohibit parents from accessing any of their students' education and health records. And this is the controversial part. The bill states that, quote, classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3. Now, I believe that there are two things in particular about this bill and its passage that are worthy of criticism from all sides. First, the bill is incredibly vague in the way that it is written, so much so that I'm just not sure how it is going to be applied consistently. For example, the bill allows teachers to withhold information from parents if, quote, a reasonably prudent person would believe that disclosure would result in abuse, abandonment, or neglect. The problem is the state's legal definition around those terms are open to interpretation. So a teacher could, for instance, hide a student's mental health issue and claim they were doing it to protect the student from emotional abuse by their parents. It's very murky territory. Second, this bill is painted by supporters as an effort to prevent non-parental adults from manipulating kids. But then Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has a bill signing surrounded by little children who are far too young to have a clue what the bill actually does. Using kids as a prop to push a political agenda, regardless of the agenda, doesn't really convince me that your motivation is simply to protect kids from outside influences. But those two things aside, there is a very important and simple takeaway from this bill that's getting lost in the "don't say gay" frenzy, and it has nothing to do with gender identity or sexual orientation, and that takeaway is this: teachers do not have an inherent right to make decisions on behalf of a parent. And if a parent doesn't want their small child to learn about sexuality or gender identity in the 3rd grade, then who are you to say that the parent is wrong? And besides, this bill does not and cannot stop children from finding out that gay people exist. What this bill does do, however, is give parents, not teachers, more of a say in how those realities are explained to their kids. And if a parent in Florida really wants their kid to know about the complex realities of sex and gender, then guess what? They can talk to them about it. It really is that simple. And to me, it's kind of weird that any parent would want someone else to teach their child about anything related to sex. Now, some have argued that this bill will force gay or transgender kids to hide who they really are. But remember, we're talking about kindergarten through 3rd grade here. 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. Too young by any standard to fully grasp complex concepts around sexuality and gender. Others have argued that the bill will force transgender or gay teachers to hide who they truly are in the classroom. That, at least, is the claim from this kindergarten teacher from Parrish, Florida, who spoke to MSNBC.
It scares me to death that I am not going to be able to have these conversations with my children, because they're going to ask me what I did on the weekend. I don't want to have to hide that my partner and I went paddleboarding this weekend.
First of all, it scares you to death that you can't tell your kindergarten students about going paddleboarding over the weekend. And second, there is nothing, absolutely nothing in the actual text of this bill that would prevent that teacher from talking to his students about the fact that he has a partner.
Because then they ask, well, what does partner mean, Mr. Bernard? And, I'm worried, can I tell them what it means?
If a curious little kid inevitably asks why he's married to a man and not a woman, then the teacher can do what they should be doing for any questions not related to their child's education. They should tell the kid that they can go home and ask their parents about it. A good teacher might even send an email to the parents saying, hey, little Johnny wants to know why I'm married to a man and not a woman, thus letting the parents decide how to handle it. It is truly a really simple concept, and the concept is this. Parents don't sign away their rights when they send their kid to school. Yes, teachers can be a lot of things. They can be a role model. They can have a positive influence on a child's life. But teachers are not meant to double as parents. And shame on any teacher who believes that they should. Thank you to the founding sponsor of Undivided, 1530 Mortgage. Visit them at 1530mortgage.com. If you like segments like this, consider becoming an Undivided subscriber on Patreon or Locals. It helps me continue this work independently. brandycruz.locals.com or patreon.com/undivided.